Hi again folks, how's all doing? This is an old 3-rail Hornby Dublo Class 08 Shunter that was sent to me by a chap called Ian. He said that this is over 60 years old and that he got it out of his loft and it was running, but then it just stopped and appears to be completely dead. So let's turn on the power. No, absolutely nothing, not a sausage. So we shall shove it into the shed and see what's what. Righty ho then, a 3-rail Hornby Dublo 08 Shunter. I've looked at a few 08 Shunters, but not a Dublo one, and certainly not a 3-rail one. This has had a wee bit damage in the post. It came in its original box, but yeah, it's had a bit of a shuggle around, I think. We've got a broken coupling. There's a bit come off the coupling there. I think I've got a replacement for that. And we've also got a few bits of plastic, which is one of the steps. I think the one off this side at the front. We've got steps there, but there's no steps on that side or on that side. So they're both broken off, but I think that should go on there. This was apparently working and then just suddenly stopped. So we shall see. Comes off nice and easy. What have we got? Alright, so it's a Ringfield motor. It's like the one on my Cardiff Castle, but it's vertically mounted. Did we get anything? There's a wee bit of movement there. And a bit of smoke. So, it's entirely possible this is just a bit gunked up. I think what we'll do is remove these couplings. I'm terrified of breaking the other one. Because old plastic can be a bit brittle. So that one's okay, but I'm sure I've got a spare one of these. This is the broken one. So the screws there and there and there and there are holding the these bits here on. Don't think we need to remove those. So it's a case of undoing this. I think we'll take the brushes out first. That's what we'll do. So release that. Does that come out? Nope, didn't think it would. And release that one. So that one out. And that one. My guess is that the slots in the commutator are gunked up. But we'll see. It might be a dodgy armature. And if it's a dodgy armature, it's a dodgy armature. But yeah, as I thought. Yeah, you can see there, that's a very dirty commutator. Slots are all gunked up. Have we got a red mark on the magnet? Let's take that out. Keep it orientated. Pull that out. There's no mark on. Oh yes, there is. So there's a red mark. I don't ever remember seeing the red mark on the magnet on my Cardiff Castle, but I've seen that on a few Dublo models now. And yeah, Dublo did used to put a red mark on the magnet, so you know which way to orientate it. Right, have we got a little ball bearing in there? Oh no, we don't. As you can see there, you can see right through that bearing. There's no ball bearing in there. I think I've got some. And there's quite a bit of gunk in there to clean out. It looks like there's a ball bearing in that one down there. So we'll clean all that out as well. I think this is the oldest looking armature I've dealt with. However, let's give it a clean up and see if it still works. We'll give it a scoosh first of all. Clean the slots out. And then we'll get some T-cut on this. It's taking a bit of cleaning, this. Right, that's looking better. Give it another scoosh to clean the T-cut off. There we go. Looks a bit more like it. That wire was just underneath this nut. It should be soldered onto there, so we'll sort that. So somebody's been in here before. This wire is clinging on by a single strand. It would as well just to take it off, and we'll resolder that. Actually, I might take these springs off, and we'll get them into the sonic cleaner along with all the other bits and bobs. We'll give this a scoosh out. This is going to be pretty manky, I think. Oof, gee whiz. Let's go this way. Get the manky brush in here. Right, I think if I undo this nut, that'll then come off, and that should take this pickup off. And then under here, we've got this copper contact, which is a bit manky, so I think we'll get that in the sonic cleaner as well. Right, we'll give this a bit of a scoosh. So I'm going to put bits and pieces into my sonic cleaner. Right, I'm going to put these in the sonic cleaner, but before I do that, I'm just going to quickly test this armature. Right, okay. Seven. 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 Yeah, the armature seems fine. So as I suspected, it just needed a good clean. Right, we'll get this in the sonic cleaner and I'll go and get some lunch. Righto, all my bits and bobs are nice and clean, been in the sonic cleaner. Shift that out of the way. One thing I want to check before I do anything else is just what the movement is like on this. That's absolutely fine, and that's without any added lubrication. We'll put a wee bit oil in the axles if I can find my oil. What have I done with it? Oh, there it is. Now I want to get some grease down into that bearing. Some grease in there. Get some grease onto the worm gear. This is a mixture of gear oil and lithium grease. So that's going to go down in there. And then we'll pop that on, just loosely just now. I want to get a ball bearing in there, and there's no felt oil reserve as well. So I've got a little ball bearing, and I've also got a wee bit felt that I can shove down in there. So I'm just squishing some felt down in there, and then we'll get some grease in there. Pop that ball bearing in. So the ball bearing's in there with the grease, and I've got a little felt oil reserve, which we'll put some oil in a minute. Get this out of the rod. Screw that in place. Screw that on, just loosely. Now, this magnet goes on that way. I'm just thinking this would be a tricky one to remagnetise, because if north is that way, let's just check that with my compass, which is there. Yeah, north is that way. I think the only way to remagnetise this would be to do the magnet on its own. It's not ideal. I mean, it probably doesn't really need it. It's a ring magnet. It doesn't really lose its power, but we'll give it a wee blast anyway. Right, put this in there like that to line it up carefully. There we go. And we want to get this in place. It's kind of difficult to see if the armature is engaging with the bearing at the top. There we go, I think that's it. Right, okay. We'll get the brushes in. That one goes in there like that. And that one goes in there like that. And then we attach these springs. Put that on there, bring it round. Holds that brush in place. There, bring it round. That holds that brush in place. Like so. Right, we'll get the pickup back together. So there, it's making contact. Let's come off. Right, that's in place. That all looks fine. Solder it onto here first. So I'll do that. In theory, this should now go. Let's get it up in the paint pots. Nope. What's happening there? Why isn't this going? I'm going to disconnect the pickup just to eliminate any possible short that's coming from that. Right, so it's nothing to do with the pickup. I wish I had better access to this armature, because you can't see, I can see a little bit of the commutator in there, but I can't see if the brushes are making contact. I assume they are. They don't push in any further. They're orientated correctly. That's a bit of a puzzle. I mean, I tested the armature and it seemed okay. So why is this not going? I'm a bit stuck. I think I'll switch the camera off and we'll take it apart again and see if I can figure out what's going on. I'll test the armature again, but I just don't see why that's not working. As soon as I turned the camera off, it suddenly burst into life. And I have no idea why. Just put these on. See? Turn the power off. These old Dublo models sometimes can be really, oh, come on, can be really temperamental. It's almost like they have moods. Right. Okay. Apply power. And away we go. Try the other way. It was working. Let's stick that on there. Go. There. I want the bearing to be in that position. That seems to be where it wants to run. My Cardiff Castle conked out one day and my dad couldn't get it to run. I couldn't get it to run. And it ended up just getting put in a box. And then I put it in the loft. And then when I took it out of the loft, 40 odd years later, lo and behold, it was running. They are just weird. Let's put this pickup back in place because we know that is not a problem. It's almost as if this model's camera shy. It knows when I'm recording and it doesn't work. And as soon as I switch the camera off, it starts to work again. Doesn't like being filmed, this. Right, okay. Let's just try applying power again. There we go. So I don't really have much of an explanation as to what happened there. We'll get some oil in the fill reserves there. And just get some oil down in there. That's all good. Right, 3-reel test track. This will be fun. What have I done with it? Pop this on there. Apply power. Come on. Yep, there is definitely something up with this. Yeah, it's that brush there. I think it's getting enough tension. And we want to make sure it's making good contact with the brush. Let's try that. Oh, come on. Alright. Tell you what, this brush is a little bit crumbly. I think I might replace it. Let's try this one. Stick that in there. See how that does. I'm going to try replacing both brushes. Yeah, I think that's it. I just think these brushes are, I don't know, they just don't seem to be doing their job. But yet again, it's shown the importance of getting the brushes right in these old Dublo models. Right, okay, coupling's on. Right, step glue back on. It's a pity that one's missing. We're done. Right, okay, let's go and pull it out of the shed. Okay then, let's bring it out. Now obviously this is 3 rail, so I can't run it around the layout, so no running session for this. Unfortunately all I can do is run it back and forth along this straight section of 3 rail I've put up. So there we are, that's Ian's Dublo 08 running again. Basically it just needed a good service and some new brushes, but I had real trouble getting it to run for a bit. Fitting the new brushes seemed to sort the problem though, but you know, sometimes these old Dublo models can be just so temperamental. Also off camera I set up an oval of 3 rail and gave this a good run in to bed the new brushes in, and I made a further adjustment to the bearing. It's important to run one of these old models till they warm up and then further assess the performance. You know, they can often slow down or speed up once they've warmed up, and if they slow down then slacken off the bearing a wee bit and it should be okay. Anyway, always fun to work on these old models despite their idiosyncrasies. I shall get this packed up and sent back to Ian. Catch you later folks.